Hey everybody, happy Friday and welcome to Fanatic Forum here on your here on Facebook. Hope you guys are having a good one there. I gotta bring our super friend Fanatic on here because we got a funny story for y'all here at the top of the show while we're a couple minutes late here. What is going on, sir?
Oh, what up, George? How you doing, sir?
I'm just peachy, man. Um,
Yeah, we're running a little late, and gonna be honest, that is totally my fault. And gonna explain why. So it's been what, the past 15 minutes now?
uh-huh.
Yeah, the past 15 minutes we have been desperately trying to troubleshoot why George has no audio or why I cannot hear George.
Yeah.
Thinking that there is something on his end wrong with the audio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, George exits multiple times, checks everything. I'm going over stuff like driver updates, system updates, things like that. Double checking like all the obvious things, like not insinuating that like George missed anything, but it's just like there's got to be a reason, right?
Yeah. Gotta be a reason.
We
Yeah.
can't. Yeah, George reboots a couple of times, nothing happens. It's weird, and then I get to looking at my settings, and I haven't heard a system setting go off on my own system since I booted up. Oh shit! I've been on mute the whole time.
Oh.
So I have been frustrating poor George. Yeah,
Oh, I love it. I love
I am so
it.
sorry, man.
Oh, you're
Wow.
good. You're good. That's just too funny of a story to not tell. So, yeah, and of course, I mean, you guys are already running some shenanigans anyway. I mean, of course, last night's episode of the Smokes and Road Beers podcast, Bill's on social media, with a very forlorn statement or whatever else, thinking like you guys are going to end the show or whatever else, and the show starts all forlorn and everything like that, and then it's a complete swerve. And now the only change is that Des is going to be joining the show on a permanent basis, which is really cool. So Des, she's been on the Fanatic Forum before, so yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
we're gonna have to get her back on here too, because she still never got to discuss fully what she wanted to discuss the
oh
first
yeah,
time in regards to the value of her comic book.
yes.
And yeah, but that's her story to tell, and we will get her back on to talk about it. But yeah, we added Des to the show. Bill put out a video that was Oscar worthy yesterday. Did you actually watch it, or did
I
you?
did, yeah, I did,
Yeah,
yeah. Basically,
yeah.
because I didn't see it during the day, but I tuned into your show after it was after you guys had ended, and so after y'all were talking about the video, after the episode was over, I went back and watched the video. So yeah,
Okay, yeah. But I mean, Oscar worthy performance on Bill's part.
it
I
really
do have
was.
to say, even the tears at the end, it was like, and then people were like reaching out with genuine concern, and like we both kind of started to feel guilty about it. And then George got, or excuse me, Bill got his ego. I did that last night too. I called him George. Now I'm
Oh
calling
yeah,
you,
yeah.
yeah. Now I'm calling you Bill. But yeah, Bill got an ego about it, and he was like, yeah, but now it's like, yeah, F them hoes, like I got him, blah, blah, blah. It's like, you felt guilty, you turd. I did too. You
Yep,
made me feel guilty.
yep.
But no, we got Des on the show. We're excited to have her. It'll be a good fresh perspective to bring her on the Smokes and Road Beers podcast. She's going to be more of a producer capacity as well.
Cool.
So she will be doing the social media stuff basically that I will not do.
Nice.
So she'll be taking a load off of Bill's plate, and which kind of makes me like, the only thing I bring to the table is just me, because like it's kind of
That's
like just here where it's just like I show up,
and
but that
that's
means like,
that's enough.
but see, it's like I feel like I feel like you all are getting somehow shortchanged,
Well, I mean,
but
you come up with topics for the show, and come up with ideas for this one over here. So I'd say your contributions are perfectly welcome, and of course you show up when we do the show, and that's important as well. So I don't have to talk to myself. Um, so no, yeah, I have no complaints, and
well,
and,
thank you. I'm really not that hard on myself about it. I was just
no, and Bill's lucky to have you on the show. There you go.
Oh well, thank you.
There you go. Well, we got a couple of folks tuning in already. Mr. Bradley's in here.
What
Hello
up,
to you, good sir.
Bradley?
And of course, from a land down under, Mr. V. Good to
Boy,
see you, brother.
throw
Yes,
another
sir.
shrimp on the barbie, V. I like how my Australian accent isn't even anywhere near Australian anymore. It's just some kind of weird hodgepodge of
It sounds more like
noises that I've made with my mouth.
it sounds more like Dick Van Dyke or like Oliver or something like that. Can I have some more, please? Oh man. Well, of course, you guys addressed this on Smokes and Road Beers last night, but it was Trailer City this week. We
Yeah,
had our first trailer for the final season for Stranger Things.
yeah, I'm pretty hyped for that. I know the Mrs. Fanatic is a big fan as well.
Yep.
I believe you're into it, but you're not like super on board with it, if I remember
No, no, I love
correctly.
it.
Or
No, I love
okay,
Stranger Things.
okay, okay,
Yeah, but
cool, yeah,
I mean, like I remember when we sat down to watch the first season, first episode, and I'm like, okay, this is kind of fun. And then the theme song starts up, and the first, the opening credits. I'm like, oh shit, okay, that's
yeah,
Carpenter. I'm in. Like as soon as
yeah.
I heard
You
the theme song, I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, it's like you saw the theme song, saw the font and everything, like the Stephen King font going into it, and it's like, okay, yeah, this is like in like the good era of Stephen King, like Pet
yeah,
Cemetery and Christine and Dead Zone kind of,
yeah,
yeah, and it's like, okay, these guys know what they're talking about. And I appreciate Stranger Things because I'm doing a rewatch of it too, right? And
oh
I'm
yeah,
actually kind of amazed at how consistent it stayed through season 3 so far.
it
And
is.
I know those were all like pretty well filmed, like farther apart than others, but like they've had to address the kids growing up and all that stuff. But like they're still like it still fits together very well.
It does. Yeah.
But it's like, and they also like still kind of play to the 80s nostalgia, but they don't pander to it, I don't believe.
Mm-hmm.
Not like in a way that it's like I feel other things that try and do callbacks to former eras pander about it, like I can't think of any examples of. I want to say Ready Player One, but that's really kind of not fair because they were just, yeah, but
Yeah, but it does a nice, kind of a love letter to the decade without being super overtly, So
right,
like the only way they went that way was the season that was in the mall. But it's like, okay, they were at the mall, but it wasn't like that.
yeah.
Yeah, it was like, it was kind of a sort of thing like that. So
It was,
I
yeah, but even stuff like that where it's like, I know what you're talking about, like where they're walking along and you see the Sam Goody in the background,
mhm.
like, but it's not like they're like, hey, we need to go stop at the Sam Goody record store to pick up the latest Cyndi Lauper CD.
Yeah, who
I
wants
get
an Orange Julius, guys? So, yeah,
right, yeah,
yeah,
exactly,
yeah, yeah. But I love the release schedule too, because of course, like we know, we're getting like one part of the season coming out in November, and then we're getting the other half of the season on Christmas Day. But then you have to wait till New Year's Day for the finale. It's like that's kind of fun. I like that.
yeah. I See, like I hate it. But I hate staggered release schedules anyway. Like Netflix was the pioneer of like the drop it all and binge watch it.
Yeah,
Like, and it's like I feel like if I'm paying directly for it, I should be able to control how I consume it, and like I understand they want to stretch out their subscription model, and it
yeah,
makes sense, and it's like I get that, but it
yeah.
still doesn't mean that I'm not gonna like it. I'm not gonna complain about it.
Yeah, so from a business standpoint, I can certainly see why I do. It's like, no, you have to keep your subscription literally until the end of the year if you want to see the finale of this
Yeah.
thing. So it's like, fair enough, fair enough. I get it. I get
Like
it.
it was like during COVID when HBO Max started releasing all those Warner Brothers movies like that were going to be the theatrical runs like straight
Yeah.
to Max, and there was that month that was going to be like Godzilla versus Kong, Mortal Kombat, and another movie that was
Oh,
like,
the little things with Denzel Washington and Jared Leto.
yeah. They
Yeah.
actually like delayed. They specifically changed the original release date of those because they didn't want people to be able to just like. There was a brief window of like 7 days where if you were a subscriber, you would get all three of those in like first release movies, and they were like,
Yeah.
"Oh shit, can't do that."
Let's see, already a couple of comments here as well from some of our other friends. Mr. Martin
What up?
says Ready Player One was okay. I will stay friendly. Not so ideal. Compared to the book, yeah. I mean, the movie was fun. I like the book a little bit better. But of course, Seth, you are not a fan of the book because,
I think the book is one of the worst things I've ever read.
yeah, and I get that. It's not. It's a lot. I enjoy it more for the nostalgia trip than I do for, I guess, how well the book is written. So I dig.
Eh,
So I get that.
Yeah, and see, I've also heard too that it's like if you've listened to the audiobook, which I believe you did,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the narration for an audiobook like can really elevate it. You know, and
And
Will Wheaton
yeah,
he was the dude that did the audiobook.
yeah.
But no, it was
He's actually done all three of Ernest Cline's books because he did both Ready Player One, Ready Player Two, and Armada.
oh.
So
Yeah,
yes,
well, I'm never gonna read any of his anything else the dude ever writes, but no, it's you know how your thing with comics is you can handle bad writing over bad art,
sure.
and see, it's like I can't handle bad writing. That's my thing. It's like if the words don't make sense, like there's a sentence structure that drives me bonkers currently that people are trying to use,
Yeah.
and it involves basically like to me they're just run-on sentences where it'll just be like you'll have a part of a sentence, then a comma, then another like predicate clause to it, comma, another one, period. And then that is the entire sentence that conveys like 8 different thoughts with like so many different like nouns, subjects, and predicates all like, thrown in there,
Mm-hmm.
like in that one sentence that it's like trying to make a rhythm of it in your head. Like you have to hear somebody's voice to do it, and it's like it just doesn't translate well. Like Stephen Graham Jones is like supposed to be this great horror writer, and I cannot get past 5 pages in any of his books
Yeah.
because he writes like that. It's infuriating. But yeah, and Ernest Cline's prose is very very juvenile when you look at it. Like
I can agree with that. Yeah.
yeah, and it's like, and that's not even like taking into consideration like some of it, like there was a lot of part in the book, especially there were a lot of times when like one character would say something and then another character would literally actually and correct them with like an exposition monologue.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was yeah, that kind of stuff. But
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely very much a nerd kind of paradise or hell, either way you want to look at it.
yeah,
But yeah, I could certainly see all sides of that. But yeah, I still had fun with it. Armada is basically the last Starfighter, sort of thing like that. But still very much enjoy those. But yeah, I've read the books themselves, but yeah, the audiobook versions. I mean, it's there's a lot to be said for a spoken word storyteller can basically change that. And sometimes, an actor's performance can elevate a bad script. And in this case, a vocal performance can elevate a bad book. There you go.
yes. And I will actually take this opportunity to plug another project of a certain Mike Nelson Science Theater fame.
Oh,
He did a podcast called 372 Pages We'll Never Get Back. And it's him, and it's I believe it's the head writer of Riff Tracks. But they do a podcast where they're like, I think they've done several books at this point, but the first book they did was Ready Player One. And they go through and read it like on a chapter by chapter basis. And of course it's Mike Nelson, right? And like
yeah.
people with his style of humor. So like it's just like the most kind-hearted evisceration you've ever listened to. And
Oh,
it's like it's hysterical, and then it made me appreciate the book as a piece of bad literature, so that it's like, and it's also one of those things too that it's like I look at and it's like, okay, if this can get published, anything can get published.
yeah, yeah.
And it's like, and that even it is not even necessarily like a comment on anyone's taste, because everyone's taste is so broad. But so it's like, even though I didn't like it, it's got to be appealing because it is a bestseller. People loved the damn thing.
Hmm.
But
Absolutely, yeah. So
anyway, sorry, that is a long ass tangent on Ready Player One that I was
there you
doing.
go. And Bradley Prisley. Actually,
Actually, yeah,
I
exactly.
love the glasses guy too. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, just a quick programming note before we get started on anything here. We'll be off next week because I haven't got to tell you this yet, sir. But of course, each year I have a date day with my niece and my nephew separately. We take them out and just spoil the crap out of them, all that stuff. And so next weekend, my nephew Harrison and I and Michelle, we're going to go see Fantastic Four and have dinner.
Oh, nice.
So no show next week because I get to spend some good family time with my beloved nephew before he goes off to college.
Ooh.
I'm feeling very old, but yeah. So
Is he staying all weekend?
no. We're just gonna have dinner and and see the movie, basically, because we're gonna probably go to your neck of the woods because see the movie in Jeffersonville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So.
I was just asking because you already had plans on Saturday night.
Oh no. Yeah. Plans on Saturday night are still intact. No, we're just
Yeah.
hanging out on Friday. So yeah.
Okay. I like how I'm trying to dictate your time with your nephew. Like, it's like your nephew's life changing events are not as important as our Dungeons and Dragons game.
No. Yeah. No. Game night. Yeah, game night next Saturday is still intact, and no worries. Oh, and Martin says 700 plus pages. Imagine all the trees that died for it. Can someone please call the World Wildlife Foundation?
Oh no, not 700, 372. Yeah, so
Either way, 372, 700, 6 of one, half dozen the other.
yeah, there is some books, man. Like,
I said, no, George, you do not feel very old. You are very old. Well, I'm nearly 50. So there you go. Yeah.
Look, let's just put it this way. We've decided, like, our collective friend group, the Horsemen, we've decided that we're going to go see the Sword in Indianapolis.
Indeed.
In October, and we've also decided that means that it's time to train, and so that we can actually stand long enough during the entire show and not be a bunch of old crippled men hobbling out.
Just Advil up before the show, comfortable footwear, lots of stretching in between sets, perhaps. Lots of water.
We're getting a new pair of Dr. Scholl's like 2 days before, right? So that it's like I can wear them and get them good and broken right beforehand. Then we're gonna do the ibuprofen. And then, and of course, then there's the stretching, of course,
stretching, yes.
And all this. And then, of course, there's going to be like the rigorous training that I do ahead of time, where it's like I just stand in my living room for attempting longer and longer stretches until I'm just being weird and standing there for 5 hours at a time and freaking my dogs out.
But still, I can't wait though, because they're doing the anniversary tour for the Warp Riders record, and so they're going to play that in its entirety. Which, yes, so yeah, love it.
Three witches.
Night City is my jam. That's yeah, that's the one.
It's an amazing record all around. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, so. But I love it. It's like, this is when they decided, like, okay, so we're going to not do a Conan record anymore. So we're going to do Robert E. Howard, but we're basically going to do like a John Carter Mars record for our third album. So it's like,
yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I like it. All right. Well, let's talk some comics before we talk about some Superman here.
Okay.
Of course, we got a lot to talk about with Superman, with basically our thoughts on it. Of course, you said, we briefly talked about our reviews in person last weekend when we saw each other. We were like, all right, let's save this for the podcast.
Right. Yeah. We specifically did not speak at length about it.
Yes, because you said you got a couple of gripes about it, but we talked about it. So, well, I got a couple of Marvel selections and then some indie stuff to talk about here. So,
DC.
No DC this week, even though Absolute Batman #10 was really good. Bane is torturing Batman in ways that, like, most comic books don't go. So it's like, this is some, it's cool stuff. But but we had a couple of monumental things come through and some bigger stuff. So I was like, let's talk about that here. So first and foremost, since we had our series of one-shots of Godzilla versus individual heroes or teams or whatever else, well, now Jerry Duggan has got a 6-issue miniseries, Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, he's taking on everybody in this one. This is a nice wraparound cover for the main cover. And we're 100% sold out of Godzilla, of this one at the shop. We're trying to order some more covers. But like the main cover, that's all gone, but hopefully get some more variant covers here. But interesting start to this one. Like, whether or not, because of course this isn't really connected to current continuity or anything like that.
Right.
But we maybe lost some major players in the first issue. So I'm not sure if they're entirely dead, if they're all dead, or maybe they're just displaced. But either way, we lose some heavy hitters in the first issue. And a couple of also heavy hitters that we don't get killed. Let's put it this way: Thor gets bitch slapped. into space.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. So, yeah, and of course, there's also a little bit of a connection with some vibranium. Basically, apparently there's some kind of like vibranium can grow or be made in other places, but it's kind of unstable and not like real vibranium. So it has like different energy signature and does stuff like that. And somehow Mole Man got some of this and possibly may have awakened Godzilla, who was asleep maybe a little bit lower than where Mole Man was hanging out. And so that kind of caused all this trouble here. So
Yeah.
yeah, but anyway, a very interesting start to the first episode there, or first issue. So we'll see where it goes from there. And then we have the conclusion to Predator versus Spider-Man. This was such an awesome series because, of course, you've got there's a Predator that calls itself Skinner. That basically is a hunter without honor. He does it because he likes it. He's crazy. Basically, we got crazy murderous Predator. And so
Okay.
you've got a hunting
As
party.
opposed to normal Predator.
Well, normal predators have honor. They have rules. They don't wear their victims' faces on their face like a dead skin mask, sort of stuff like that. You know, standard
You
predator.
realize that if you're outside with a broom, the Predator would see you as a threat, right?
A broom's not a threat.
The Predator will see it as a weapon and will still kill you. That's the thing. The Predator's still a movie monster. Just because we made it cool. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I would like to test that theory. If it sees a broom as a weapon versus, a gun or a blade or something like that. But anyhow, but great. Let's see, a lot of fun in this one. Gives very much Predator 2 energy on this one, and of course, enter in Kraven the Hunter as well. Yeah, you can't go wrong. This was a shitload of fun. Really, really, really enjoyed this one. And then mostly indie stuff to talk about. I got 3 really good things to talk about, and then one not so good that I was kind of looking forward to and was very disappointed. But we'll talk about that one last. One thing definitely want to talk about here from Distillery Comics. Finally, the conclusion to the Blood Brothers Mother issue 4 came out here. This was an epic, great spaghetti western. Kicks you in the balls, though. It is a hard western here. So
I was gonna say I think I got the first 2 of those.
yeah. So
Yeah.
did I not get you three and 4 yet? Okay, I'll get you 3 and 4 then.
I might have 3. I can't remember.
Well, let me know if you do, but I'll definitely get you
Okay.
4.
Yeah. Thank you.
But basically, the premise on this one, it's a Western revenge tale where you get basically a group of like criminals get out of prison and like, all right, let's reform the gang, go do our usual robbing stuff, and like, well, there's one left, that's not accounted for, which was the main guy's girlfriend, who was also another gang member. Well, they find her and find that she is remarried a preacher. Preacher's got 3 boys. And so she's apparently trying to live the normal, straight citizen life, whatever else. And basically, boyfriend and the old bad guys show up, kill the preacher, and take mom, back with them. And so now you got the 3 boys basically looking to avenge their father's death and get mom back. The oldest is 13. The youngest is 8. And so these 3 boys travel basically the countryside, looking for their mom, coming across other people, other dangers. Things happen to the brothers themselves. It's a great Western tale. It's ended like it should have ended, but it doesn't end nicely.
The good Westerns never do. The good Western ain't got a happy ending.
But it's basically the Ed Rizzo and Brian Azzarello, basically the team behind 100 Bullets, brings us this one. It's like chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. Yeah. New from EC Comics. So we had Epitaphs from the Abyss was a 12-issue horror anthology, right? Well, now they've got an ongoing new anthology, Catacomb of Torment. Yep. And just in the fine tradition, we have a new host. We even see the Gravedigger, our old host from Epitaphs, in this issue too. But we get 3 really good news stories in here. Basically all very fun stuff. Enjoyed it. But the best part is we get an old-fashioned story we get the Halloween story from issue 22 of Terror Suspense Stories. So we get some old school 1950s EC. Yeah, basically of children in an orphanage, basically where they've got a headmistress that treats them well, but the head minister in charge of the place that runs the money does not treat them well. And well, let's just say he gets his just desserts in the end. But yeah, I love when the new EC stuff reprints old stuff. Like they did it in Shiver Suspense Stories, which came around Christmas time last year. There was an old EC story in that one. So this is the second time they've done that. I hope they keep it coming.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
See, that was what I grew up with the old DC stuff. Was they weren't the originals, but they were the
90s reprints. Yeah.
reprints. Yeah, because it was like I found a crap load of them in a dollar bin or a quarter. No, they wasn't a dollar bin then; it was a quarter bin. Wow, I'm an old man.
Wow. All the days. But yeah, I know that's the reprints are fun too. So
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Don't turn down a good reprinter.
Heck no.
Yes,
heck no.
absolutely.
Yeah, Dead Skin Mask. Yes, very good Slayer record. Wish the Crypt Keeper could return as a host for a comic based on a show. Well, see, that's the thing is that Oni bought the rights to the EC brand, so they own Tales from the Crypt and the Crypt Keeper and all that kind of stuff. So why they decided to do new stuff as opposed to bring some of the old names back, I don't know. I think they maybe kind of wanted to go in a new direction themselves. They didn't want to necessarily like rest their laurels on the the work of the past. It's like, oh, we're going to do a Tales from the Crypt that's not as good as the old Tales from the Crypt or anything like that. Damages the legacy. So I can kind of see some reasoning why they didn't use the old names. But I do like reprinting the old stories. That's really cool.
Yeah.
But what we do need is for HBO to get off their butts and release the Tales from the Crypt TV show via streaming. Because right now, that show is not available in streaming.
Yeah, you can only find it on DVD sets.
Mm-hmm.
And and be wary if you're trying to buy it on eBay, because most DVD sets on eBay are bootleg. I'm just telling you.
Yep.
Well, if you're cool with it, you're cool with it. But yeah, just be wary that you are getting a bootleg product.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell because they're almost always a single layer disc.
Yep. It is good. They are not quality reproductions, most likely. No. So, another good indie one this week here. I was kind of excited about this one over the free comic book day preview that came out in May. But the first double-sized issue of Post Malone's Big Rig has come out here from Vault Comics. And this is cool because basically the world is basically a modern day Europe, but it is kind of a little bit on the post-apocalyptic side because Hell's Gates hath opened and come out to Earth. So basically, we're literally fighting demons on Earth. A secret sect of the Knights Templar, known as the Six Pedals, as in Pedals,
right?
Are basically kind of your super holy warriors, and they're the ones that basically can save us from the demon horde. So the truck itself is a weapon. The truck is also filled with weapons to basically annihilate these hordes. And so you've got our hero here who is just a normal blacksmith until he gets in the truck and puts the cap on, and suddenly, boom, he is now the driver, or I forget what he calls himself, but yeah, so he's the dude. He also may have been a Knight Templar formerly that had been excommunicated, but we don't know exactly why just yet. So, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. The art is really cool because it's black, white, and red.
Oh yeah, I do remember that from the free comic book day issue.
Yeah. So first issue's a double issue here, but yeah. It's a lot of fun, and I'm in it.
In it to win it. I like it.
Yep. Oh, yeah, and Brad said, "Oh, you got the free comic book day?" Yeah, I said it's worth checking out for sure. All right, and our one dud of the week here. I was looking forward to this because Image released this past Christmas. There's a bunch of horror anthologies that were released around Christmas time the past year. But Image released one called Deck the Halls, which was a 4-issue anthology that was all horror stories surrounding Christmas, or Christmas themed or whatever else.
Right.
Loved it. Had a lot of comedy in it, but dark comedy, whatever else, but still enjoyed it. I even talked about it on the show here. Well, around the summertime here, they were releasing Dread the Hall H, as in the infamous Hall H at San Diego Comic-Con, where like all the big panels take place and stuff like that. So like, okay, so we got a Comic-Con horror anthology, right? All right, so that could be funny, that could be creepy, they could have some fun with this. So here's our release. We got a really cool cover on this one here. We got zombies, biting it's graded book there, stuff like that. So
Okay.
you have three stories in here, and one story kind of keeps coming back as like a running joke. Where you basically have like a panel and a guy is basically asking essentially like a never-ending question, and people essentially like are dying, because it's taking so long. So this was a lot more comedy heavy, but just the writing wasn't very good. The stories weren't very good. Like you had like a zombie outbreak happen during a Comic-Con, and everybody thought they were cosplayers, and basically just people are getting killed, and then they open the doors for a panel, and then all the zombies come pouring through that just got made, and or you like I said,
Yeah.
you got the guy who has the never ending question, or you've got there's just like I said, it's just not very good. It was very very disappointing. Uh,
Oh,
yeah. So I don't normally trash a lot of books, but it's like when one really kind of hits, I'm like, I was looking forward to this too, and I'm like, nope, nope,
it just
yep,
didn't do it for you. Yeah. No,
just
I
didn't
feel
do
you.
it. Yep. All right, but that is all my reviews for the week here. So, anything you want to review before we get into old soups there?
No, actually, I am reading Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow
Ooh,
because
nice.
of the Superman movie, and we'll
Mm-hmm.
get into that later. But so far, that has been a hoot.
Yeah,
Tom King wrote that one, and have you read it?
I have indeed.
Yeah,
It's good. Yeah,
yeah. That I typically I've not read that many Supergirl solo stories, but this has been pretty much as it's been described or it's been as it was described to me, which was True Grit, where Supergirl was the cowboy.
yeah.
And it's like, okay, yeah, I'm totally down with this idea. Like, I love bizarre takes on tropey stories.
I know, yeah. That's
Yeah.
good stuff. And then, of course, they're going to add a little bit, it seems like they're going to add some of that. And then, of course, we'll talk a little bit about how they introduced Supergirl very briefly in Superman. Yeah, we're definitely dealing with the lost soul kind of take on this one, too. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, anyway, well, let's get talking about it instead of just tap dance around the landmine here. Let's
Yep.
talk about old David Corn Sweat here and our James Gunn Superman movie here, our first theatrical release within the new James Gunn DC initiative. This is what they call Chapter 1 Gods and Monsters. So it started with the Creature Commandos animated series, and now this is our first full length feature film here.
I thought Suicide Squad still kind of counted.
Suicide Squad does kind of count, but this new, like I said, this basically he's literally calling this like Chapter 1 or Volume 1 Gods and Monsters, and it started with Creature Commandos. But
Okay.
yeah, but Suicide Squad, his Suicide Squad does count within this world, and then apparently season 2 of Peacemaker is going to kind of make peace, for lack of a better term, with basically kind of the inconsistencies from season 1, where he's still in the Snyderverse, to where he is now, where he's not in the Snyderverse, he's in this verse. So.
Oh.
But yeah, but of this new James Gunn initiative of stuff like that, yeah, he's got this thing chaptered out, and so yeah, we're in the Gods and Monsters, and so there you go. We started with monsters, and then our first feature film is with a god, and then Peacemaker season 2 is our next portion in this, and I think that's all we get this year, and then of course, was it June of next year will be Supergirl, so.
Hmm.
Yeah, so, but yeah, like I say, he kind of has like a 10-year, when James kind of initially took things over and made the announcement, and then he's kind of, so he gave this announcement of his projects he wanted to do. He has kind of like a 10-year plan going here. So basically, the first part of this plan, like I said, it was kind of either reintroducing established characters like Superman, or giving proper stages to underutilized characters like Supergirl, or introducing new characters like the Creature Commandos or Booster Gold coming up, things like that. So
Right. Right. Right.
And of course, like his Brave and the Bold movie is going to be, introducing us to a new Batman. That's the patents and stuff exist in its own world, but there's going to be a Batman within the James Gunn world. But more importantly, Damian Wayne will be introduced in the Brave and the Bold as a Robin. So, yeah, I'm be very happy to see Damian on film for the first time.
I hate being the guy. Like, I don't know why, but like Damien bothers me. Like,
Oh,
just
he's a little shithead, but that's what I love about him.
well, no, his whole existence. Like, I'm like it used to drive me nuts that like my parents were like, no, that like I was trying to explain the whole idea of like the three Robins, like Tim Drake, Dick Grayson, and Jason Todd, and
Mm-hmm.
like the line of succession and all that. And they're like, no, 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 no. Batman only had one Robin, and it was Dick Grayson. They would not accept the idea that like the mantle carried on because their whole thing was Batman never changed anyway. So why would his sidekicks, right? And it's like I kind of see that, but it's like I feel that way about Damien. Like it pisses me off that Damien exists because then Tim Drake gets the shaft, and Tim was awesome, right?
Well, I
And
mean,
then
Tim doesn't necessarily get the shaft because that's the thing is like there have been a lot of times where Damien's off doing his own thing, and so Tim, is in there. But like Tim's kind of just, you know, he's not necessarily in the periphery, but he's doing his own thing, and he's still Robin. And whereas Damien is also a Robin, but he has an entirely different color scheme. So basically, it's very easy to tell them apart. Also, Tim Drake is probably about a foot taller than Damien too.
oh
So
right, yeah, no, I mean I know all that, but yeah,
yeah,
I'm
but
just
I know, yeah.
yeah, it's
But
just
yeah, but yeah, no,
unnecessary.
I'm a big fan of Tim Drake too. When it comes to the original three Robins, he's my favorite. But yeah, I friggin' love Damien because he's just a little shithead. He's good at what he does. Basically, he doesn't have the rules that his father does. So like, he abides by the no killing, but he just really wants to murder. So
Right, yeah.
so yeah, but no, I like Damien, but it's kind of like a love to hate him sort of thing like that. But anyway, enough of this Batman talk. Let's talk Superman. All right, so
Yes.
first off,
Spoilers, by the way.
yes, we are going to spoil the hell out of this. If you guys have not seen the movie, I'm sorry, but yeah, we're going to spoil this all over the place. But yeah, if you haven't, go see it. It is wonderful. So yeah, my initial reaction, had a lot of fun with it. It doesn't really have a lot of slow parts in it. It's well paced. I thought.
Yeah, it's very well paced. There was not a slow part. I did manage to go sneak to the restroom at like the only part I think I probably could have done it, and that was when he flubs up the "I love you" line.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah,
And so it's like I picked that up in context later. That was what I missed, but it was like
yeah.
okay, well, good. But no,
Well,
it was
he says I love you, and then Lois doesn't say anything back. But then later she's like, "Oh yeah, I love you too." Yeah, yeah.
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, so as a Superman movie, I'm just gonna say that I think probably it is my probably. I don't know if it's my favorite over the original Superman with Christopher Reeve, but it's definitely as far as a Superman film goes, it is up. It's at least tied with that.
Yeah.
And yeah, even though I've got my minor nitpicks, but yeah, I'm actually pretty pleased with it overall.
To me, this is the most comic booky Superman movie ever made. I think it's the most accurate to the books, even though they do make some changes. Um, you have basically the world didn't feel like we were in the building blocks of it. The world already felt built, and we were just seeing it for the first time. Because things were already happening, you already had established characters and relationships and whatever else, and then we were just kind of getting clued in as it happened. So, and
That
of course,
yeah. No, that I was gonna say that is one thing I really appreciated was that we didn't have to endure yet another Superman origin story, or like if I have to see Peter Parker get bit by the freaking spider one more time, like
yeah,
in a movie, like if you don't know these characters' origins at this point, you know,
right,
text crawl is fine, Google exists.
yeah.
Like just like so many things are just halted to a dead stop because they have to tell an origin story to get you on board with things. Yeah, it's drives me nuts. So I was appreciative that this started with a text crawl and
Yep.
explaining some shit just right from Jump Street that there's metahumans that it's been here for a long time.
3 billion years.
Yeah, 3 billion years. So that puts some time on things. Superman has been active for 3 of those years.
Yep.
Yeah, and I noticed that James Gunn kept leaning into the very obvious Jesus metaphors
Mm-hmm.
with the 33 and like all that stuff. And because I mean, there's been so much written. Like if you don't know what I'm talking about, there's been so much written about Superman being a G or a Christ allegory figure with
Yeah.
like a lot of the poses and scenes in the films and things like that. So
Well, and
yeah,
just
yeah,
his general wholesomeness, hope, things like that. Yeah,
yeah.
and of course, basically created by two Jewish men, essentially as a an allegory for like what we want somebody to start kicking some kicking some bad guy butt because we've had enough of our butts getting kicked to this whole World War thing going on. So you know what? Why don't we kick back? And
Yeah.
that was our very first superhero.
Yeah. And we'll get into more of this stuff as we discuss the plot of the film. But no, it actually starts the film actually starts at the first time Superman loses,
Yeah,
which is
that's
kind of an interesting starting point. Like Superman just crashes in the Arctic and he's had the shit kicked out of him.
hmm Yeah, and of course, we later introduced to a character by the name of Ultraman, who basically has Lex Luthor in his ear, literally almost kind of controlling him or whatever else, kind of as a puppet, so to speak, like that. But not the Ultraman that we know from the comics, because they use the same name, but it has him in an entirely black suit. We can't see who's underneath it, but. In the comics, Ultraman is a variant of Superman that exists. I think it's on Earth 3, where you have the Injustice Gang are basically the world's greatest criminals. So basically, the Justice League are bad guys.
No, I think it is Earth 2 post crisis.
First,
Because
okay, maybe it's
that was the Grant Morrison book, that introduced the crime syndicate back
okay.
into.
It's 2 or 3, one of those.
Yeah.
But anyway, but yeah, you've got the Injustice Gang. So you got basically versions of Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, yada yada yada, all bad guys. The only good guy on the entire planet is Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
So basically, imagine just a completely evil version of Superman. That's Ultraman. So not this quite version of Ultraman, but anyway. But
No, and there's 2 Easter eggs going on in there, but we'll get into them a little later too, I think.
mm-hmm.
Well, the first one is kind of the armor that Ultraman's wearing.
Oh
Doesn't
yeah,
it kind of look very familiar to you,
it
or does
looks
it
like
give
the
you
first.
a?
It looks like the first time we saw Doomsday, basically when he's in that green suit. But yeah,
Well,
it definitely looked like him before he starts getting battle damage, and then we see the rocky pointy skin underneath.
yeah, no, the Doomsday thing was definite, but no, like when he's in the full Ultraman armor, or is like the hammer of
Oh, the hammer
Barovia,
Barovia, yeah.
or whatever, and he's in the full suit. Like that looked to me like that, like kind of almost a prototype of Lex's armor from the comics.
That
Like,
also because it was gold and blue, it looked like Guardian as well.
I
Yeah,
didn't even think of that, but no, you're right. I forgot
but
about Guardian.
but you're right. The design does kind of look like Lex's armor as well, too. Yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
But yeah,
Uh,
so Superman gets the Tom kicked out of him by the Guardian of Balavia or wherever.
the hammer
The
of
Hammer
Barovia.
of Barovia. Yeah, whatever. The fictional countries' names in the DC universe are bizarre. And I do appreciate James Gunn actually just outright saying like real cities don't exist
Yeah.
in the DC film universe. Like there is no New York, there's Gotham.
Mm-hmm.
There's Metropolis, it's like
Yep.
Coast City is in California, or it's Central City can't, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Where was I going with that? I lost my train of thought.
You talking about the hammer of Barovia and getting
Oh
his
yeah.
tail kicked
Yeah,
in? Yeah.
he's getting his ass kicked by the Hammer of Barovia. And then of course, like, he goes to the Fortress of Solitude, gets recharged, and of course we see Crypto for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And Crypto is I was skeptical on Crypto from the trailer. I believe they touched him up a little bit. He looks a lot better
Yeah.
than he did in the trailer, I believe. Looks more like a real dog, which
Yeah.
I'm glad. And yeah, Crypto is the best boy.
He is definitely rambunctious.
Yeah.
So, because he likes tackling and jumping on people, and like, okay, this dog's got super, he can fly. He's got some super speed, and he's strong than usual dogs. So it's like, yeah, that hurts when he does that.
Yeah. And of course, it's like anybody who's a dog owner too. It's like I keep thinking I would see Crypto bounce around, and I was like, "Yep, I have my own Crypto at home."
Yes, you do.
my
Yes, you
my
do.
my big old horse. But no, imagine a dog with heat vision, man. Wouldn't
Oh
that
my
be like?
god.
Oh yeah, you'd be dead.
Well, I think Crypto does have heat vision, so or yeah, he should. Or maybe I don't know. Maybe his
Yeah, maybe yeah. Just
yeah.
hasn't
He just
run
said he
quick.
didn't use it in the movie, but yeah, Crypto typically does have heat vision. So because I
Yeah.
remember the Titan series, Crypto had heat vision in there. So
Oh geez.
yeah. So
The live action Titan series.
yep.
Crypto was in that.
Yeah, he was in the last season because basically he was hanging because they introduced Superboy, and then they basically kind of did the whole thing of Superboy, you know, battling with his well, it was third and fourth season.
Yeah.
But yeah, Superboy kind of battling with his identity of was he more Superman, was he more Lex? Did the whole thing where he shaved his head? But yeah, the Crypto hung with Connor, so
Okay. Okay. Cool.
because basically it's like the same lab that Connor escaped from. He also busted Crypto out. So it wasn't necessarily supposed that Crypto was Kryptonian. It was supposed that maybe they also experimented on Crypto with Kryptonian DNA on him too.
Okay. Okay. I got you. I dig. I dig. Yeah.
Brad's got a question for us here. It said, wasn't a version of Superman created by the American government to fight Soviet Superman, or is this same not ultra? Well, let's see here. So you've got the Red Sun version of Superman, which I think they call him. I think they still stuck with Superman. Now you've got from Earth X, which is the Nazi world, or basically World War II. The Germans won World War. Sorry, the Nazis won World War II. That's the world where the freedom fighters exist, and they have a Superman on there called Overman, and so he's a Nazi version of Superman. But
I'm trying to Google and see if I can
yeah,
find anything real quick
because I
here.
remember
Yeah.
in Red Sun, like Batman mostly held the resistance against Soviet Superman. But I
Yeah, I
can't remember.
don't remember anything about Ultraman being good. I'm not saying that like there's not like there very well could be in some like multiversity issue or like some storyline that I'm not aware of where there's a good Ultraman versus a Soviet Superman.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I seem to remember in Red Sun. It's been a while since I've read Red Sun, and I've seen the animated movie more recently. Which sometimes the animated movies do a little bit different things than the comics do. So I can't remember if there was basically a American created Superman to fight the Red Sun Superman. But
Yeah.
I'll have to go back and read that one. So we will have to get back to you on that one, Brad.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we get, of course, Superman gets his butt kicked. He's getting healed by all the robots there, which I like the fact that we had we didn't necessarily have Kellic, but he had like multiple variants, basically, multiple robots kind of as his, butlers and helpers there within the Fortress of Solitude. Uh, and then in typical James Gunn fashion, using his buddies, we got Alan Tudyk as the voice for number 4. Michael Rooker was one of the robots. Palm, oh god, Camarinian, or basically Mantis from the Guardians movies. She was one
Oh,
of the
okay.
other robots. Can't remember who the other one was, but yeah, Michael Rooker was in a James Gunn movie. He just played a voice of a robot, so
Yeah, he's been in all of James Gunn's movies at this
yep.
point. Yeah.
He is his basically he's his Dick Miller, so that's kind of like he's his good luck charm. He has to be in
Yeah.
every single whether it's just his voice or he actually has a performance on screen. Yeah,
Right.
Rooker's got to be in every movie. So
Yeah.
uh,
The now the robots are actually my first point of nitpick
okay,
that I had an issue with, and it was not even necessarily the existence of the robots. It was the how Superman would tell them things that they should already know,
mm.
and they just acted as exposition devices. Like
Okay,
that bothered me. That like Superman would basically just come in and just repeat him. So would like does he come in every time and repeat himself
yeah,
to just reassure the robots? Like that doesn't make sense. Like why wouldn't they know who Supergirl was or why she came or why she sorry why
yeah.
she came in later and did what she did. We'll get to that. But yeah, it's like they they live there. They know. Like,
Yeah.
that was a nitpick, and it felt like they were there just for the laugh, and I didn't like that bothered me. Like their existence was,
Okay.
you know,
Okay.
the movie had humor in other places that I was okay with. This was the first time that it felt heavy handed and forced.
Okay. All right. Dig that. Um, of course, moving a little bit further in the scene here, we do get to see Jor-El and Lara El for the first time in this world here. And did you notice the cameo again?
Bradley Cooper and what was her name? Oh hell, I forgot.
Yeah, I can't remember. I can't remember the ladies. At first, I saw it's like, is that Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper? Like they're doing like the Rose kind of bullshit. But no, it was
Yeah.
just being Bradley Cooper. But yeah, so having him play Jor-El, and of course we first there's we first see that there's a message that they had to Clark, basically telling them, "Oh, we love you, and we sent you here, yada yada yada," sort of thing like that. But
The
then of
yellow
course
sun will give you power.
yeah, all that kind of jazz. Yeah, but then part of the message is damaged, so it's incomplete. Well, then later in the movie, when basically we get Lex and a bunch of the other bad guys in here, the message is repaired, and we find out that basically a little bit of a twist that Clark's real purpose, or Kal-El's real purpose on Earth, is essentially to take over and repopulate with other Kryptonians. Like start mating with the Earth women, get you a harem, and start doing things there. Now, of course, it's suspected like, oh, well, they just kind of twisted that around, and the message is not actually that. This is kind of what Lex wanted everybody to hear, but as it turns out, no, that actually was the message.
Yeah, and nitpick number two is the message. There was so you kind of had the feeling that the chunk of the message was going to come back at some point, and it was going to
Mm-hmm.
be something weird, or something distasteful, or
Yeah,
something that you didn't necessarily want Clark to hear.
right.
But then it comes out, and Luthor, when Luthor gets into the Fortress of Solitude, which he's going to, yeah. Have you seen the trailer? You know what happens.
Yeah,
Uh, but the that the idea that the message is played and then it's just suddenly authentic. Excuse me, and the movie did a terrible error of telling or of showing or of telling and not showing.
right.
Right? Like it just had like three characters tell you in a rapid fire sequence the message is real, can't be fake. Message is real, can't be fake. Message is real, can't be fake.
Yeah,
Lex Luthor, Mr. Terrific says it, and
the
I
mechanic.
think yeah, it says it too. And so it's like they like just to hammer home like three confirmations from all sides that the message was real, and it's like I still feels like bullshit to me. Like I was
It,
still waiting for it to come back later that it was somehow not.
Yeah,
And
I kind of felt I felt the same way too. Like there was a plot point that was going to come back and saying, "Oh no, actually Lex forged that too."
yeah,
Like it's because I mean that's the thing is like while there have been some Elseworld stories and things like that, for the most part, the mission was always peaceful. Uh, to basically to be here and live amongst people, and you live here, and none of the planet's about ready to blow up. Good luck,
yeah.
kid. Sort of stuff like that.
Well,
So but again, I think they wanted to kind of really hammer home that it's like okay, well, we're really going for the wholesome Superman, one who brings hope, one who basically kind of like as they kind of talk about in the movie a little bit and mess around with. Basically, apparently the being punk rock, being part of the resistance is to be nice, to be kind.
right.
Kindness is part of the
And
resistance.
no, and it's like I totally get that, and I do not discredit the plot point itself. Like
Sure.
what it inferred was that he
Yeah.
was sent there to conquer. Like
Yeah.
that's not what I'm like. It's the delivery of the factuality of that
Yeah.
point that I argue with, because it's like I do very much subscribe to the idea that if you're Superman and you're sent here, and you know that you're the most powerful being on Earth, you got two choices.
Yeah.
You conquer, or you do what you can to help everybody. There's really no middle ground, like
Yeah.
unless you want to live like a really horrible, miserable life with knowing what you can do versus what. Yeah, I mean, yeah, just think about that. Like trying to be like have Superman's power but not be noticed for forever. It would be damn near impossible.
Exactly.
But anyway, yeah. But going back to this shit, what were we talking about? Damn it. There's so many points of this that I'm trying to reconcile that I want to jump back to.
Well, we were
Uh,
talking about basically the despite the
the being nice, yeah.
yeah.
And so even though that plot, like, I don't despise that plot point, because I do think that later on when Clark talks to his dad,
Oh
that really hammers that whole deal
yeah,
home
yeah.
with that. And that people complain online about Clark's parents being too hillbilly or bumpkin, and like
They're in
I
Kansas. Yeah,
well, it's they're in Kansas, and it's like I do think that they were pretty, like, almost stereotypically redneck, but in a way that I recognize because I live in the middle of redneck territory,
yeah,
you know. But I do like the idea that, it is the white hillbilly that taught Clark, the that couple taught Clark, what it is to treat people with kindness.
yeah.
So it's like, and it goes along with the whole message of the movie that, everybody's trying to be human, well, except for Lex Luthor,
Right.
which, yeah, it's
Yeah, and let's talk about Lex for a bit here. Um,
yes,
because of course this is, I think, probably one of the for as far as film goes, probably our most comic accurate Lex, uh, because he's the criminal genius. He's always one or two steps ahead of things until he isn't, and then when he isn't, he throws a tantrum and he rages out and throws things, break things, screams at people, whatever the case may be. Um, and so I like that aspect of Lex, where basically, like, basically once he knows he's beaten, he loses his shit.
yeah.
Um, and so I really enjoy Nick Holt's performance. I think, with all due respect to Gene Hackman, I think this may be our best Lex, just because I think just the way he got the performance, the way his delivery and things like that. It's like, yeah, I want to see more of this Lex. I really do.
I'm gonna ask though, are you forgetting the underrated John Cryer's Lex
No, no,
Luthor?
that's why I specified film and not television. because
Okay,
because
fair, fair,
John
fair.
Cryer on television, yes, on TV he is our best Lex, but in
Yeah,
film we've had Hackman, we've had Kevin Spacey, we've
Stacy.
had we've had oh shit, who
Oh,
was the
Jesse Eisenberg.
Eisenberg
Yeah.
worst, and this is next to Kevin Spacey who probably raped people, you know, yeah. Jesse Eisenberg was a terrible Lex Luthor. He was my least favorite, next to the Flash, my least favorite part of the Snyderverse.
Really?
I hated the Flash, even from his first instance in Justice League, even before all of his real life shenanigans, wherever
Oh,
else.
no. Yeah, screw the Flash. The Flash sucked.
But no, yeah,
But
yeah. Lex Luthor was my least favorite part of the Snyderverse. I just didn't like Eisenberg's delivery. I'm not a fan of his acting style. Period. I like him in Zombieland. And okay, I like him in Zombieland. But
that's
like, but
fair. That's fair. I can see how, like, no, his performance was very erratic, but it's like I liked it. Like, just I liked it because it was like he knew that he was young and he knew that people were underestimating him, and he
mhm.
very much enjoyed overplaying his hand. And it's like that was a kind of diabolicalness to that Lex that I enjoy. I'm a Snyderverse fan, though. I do have to
You
say I'm
are,
not a
you are.
Snyder bro. I have to say that, but it's like I am a Snyderverse fan.
And
The hat,
there are parts of the Snyderverse I do appreciate. I'm not a huge
yeah,
fan of the Snyderverse, but there are parts of it I do appreciate. Yeah,
no, and I can dig that.
yeah.
And Hackman, yeah, Hackman was a Lex Luthor. He was
I
actually,
mean,
I honestly, like, I don't even think that he was probably the best parts of those Superman movies. Like, he was just kind of there to move the plot to me. Like, I
yeah.
think, like, in the first one, it was the performance of Reeve and Margot Kidder,
Hmm.
and doing that. In the second one is Terrence Stamp and the Phantom Zone Criminals. Yeah, like, yeah, Gene Hackman as Luthor did nothing for me. Didn't move the needle hardly at all. But
But to me, much like Christopher Reeve will always be my Superman, Hackman will always be my Luthor. Just because, I mean, my first three cinematic experiences were in this order: Star Wars, Superman, the Muppet movie. So
Fair. No,
yeah,
I can do that.
Superman 78 is always going to have a soft spot in my heart. So
Yeah.
uh, but I like I said, I really, really like Nick Holt's performance. I mean, I like him as an actor. Period. I've liked him in tons of stuff that he's been in. So yeah, I really enjoyed him as Lex. And I want to see a lot more on this one.
Yeah, his Lex was villainous in a fun way
Mm-hmm.
that like you wanted to see him, but you still knew that he was the bad guy.
Yeah,
But you could also see how that like he had that charismatic nature to him to where he could get like, he knew how to schmooze when he had to, kind
yeah,
of deal.
yeah.
But yeah.
He was he was the interesting things of the scenes he was in, but you still wanted to see him get his ass kicked by the end of the movie.
Yeah.
So he was
Yeah,
like he was like a really good wrestling heel. Like
yeah.
you were captivated by the things he said and the things he did, but you still wanted to see him get beat down the end.
Yeah. And we came in on the third act of the Lex Luthor plot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like which I think is actually interesting. We really did come into this movie like roughly like 4 hours into a previous movie,
Yeah,
right? With all that has gone on. But yeah, Nicholas Holtz, especially his pocket universe shenanigans,
yeah.
like
I want
that
to talk
was
this pocket universe. Let's talk about that for a sec. Any ideas what that actually was?
so there's man, like there's all kinds of crap with DC that it could be now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like because you've got like you already had the multiverse being constricted and reformed so many times, right? Like as far as like as far as like the continuity and the as far as the comic book universe is concerned, right?
Yeah,
And so it's like we also know that it's like as far as like some of the TV shows are concerned, they are all still connected, right? Like in the
mm-hmm.
giant multiverse overall.
Yeah.
So like it might have something to do with that in some weird way. It could have something to do. At first, I thought it was a boom tube. Going to be honest.
That
Uh,
basically that was my first instinct too. That Lex had made kind of a very primitive boom tube, and they were somehow on a far side of apocalypse. They were
yeah,
outside of this.
that was my other thought too. Yeah,
Yeah,
that we were on War World or Apocalypse. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. That was my first instinct as well. The basically that like Lex had found himself a little far side, of that, so it was away from the eyes of Dark Side. But basically, this may have been our first, our first, little dabbling of like, here's apocalypse, and we're gonna get the dark side in the fourth world and all that jazz. So I was like,
yeah.
oh,
Oh
yeah.
man, that'd be God.
Uh,
I can only hope because nothing would please me more than to see friggin' a Superman Dark Side fight on the big screen.
mm-hmm.
Like I'd day one first showing for me, man.
Yeah.
But no, back to Holtz Lex Luthor. Doing like this Luthor was also very inspired to me from All Star Superman.
Yes.
Like there's a lot of Grant Morrison DNA in this movie, but a
Yes. Very
lot of
much
it
so.
goes into Lex Luthor.
Yeah. There was a lot of All Star Superman that was definitely borrowed from that they took from this movie at 100%.
Yeah, and now one version of Luthor that I don't think is ever really explored all that much that I really enjoyed was that mid '90s Luthor, where he was the businessman that ran for president.
Oh yeah.
And like, yeah, and then he even did the whole thing where he divested himself from all of his holdings while he was president,
Uh-huh.
and just so that he wouldn't like he wouldn't have access to any of his money. But unlike one of our current political leaders right now. Anyway, uh, yeah, it's weird. The comic book villain's actually more ethical than anywho.
Mm-hmm.
But no, yeah, that whole idea, and then like there was that Brian Azzarello Luthor miniseries
Yep.
that like, and Luthor was doing stuff that I thought was cool as hell. Like
Mm-hmm.
as a character, like he hated Superman, right? Like the
Yeah.
whole idea that like everyone was looking up to him and not, or was looking up to Superman and not Lex.
Yeah.
But like you would see him in like the LexCorp tower, and like the janitor would like bump into him or whatever, and it would play out like one of those scenes like where you would expect Lex to have him fired, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it's like, yeah, he's asking his assistant, okay, what's his deal? And then it's like, oh, like his wife is like, having like some kind of surgery or whatever, and like, goes through this whole sob story, and then it's like, and Luther's like, pay for it, take care of it, and then like he just keeps going,
Yeah.
and it's like it's like the idea of Lex Luthor almost being like a Doctor Doom kind of figure, like where the
Mhm.
people of Latveria love him,
Yeah.
unabashedly love Doctor Doom
Yeah.
because he is good to them, and not even in like a benevolent dictator kind of way. He is genuinely good to these people.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, so they will fight and die for him. Like, I think that is an interesting way that nobody plays Luthor like that anymore. Hardly, I don't think.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
And another thing too is that the one defining quality of Luthor is jealousy. He is just
Yes.
100% jealous of the fact that the world is enamored with this alien and they're not enamored with him.
Well, also remember, like, I think the ultimate thing too with Luthor and his downfall is his own hubris,
Yeah.
right? Because if you think about it, the stuff with Eve, with the photos,
Yep.
like he's too cocky and vain. He never thinks in a million years that this little bimbo will expose him in any way. Mr.
And
Terrific talking about the portals, him making the pocket universes that are horribly unstable. And
yep.
every time you open one, you're risking like, temporal distortion. And he's got hundreds of them,
Yeah.
open all over the place.
Hmm.
Everything that Lex touches eventually crumbles,
Yeah.
right? Because he thinks that he's too good to fail.
Exactly.
And yeah.
Yeah, so we touched on Eve Tessmacher a little bit. Let's talk about the changes to Jimmy Olsen because basically, good old fashioned Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen is now basically ladies' man Jimmy Olsen. Apparently,
I think that goes back to something else that Grant Morrison had said. It's like if you're Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen, aren't you the coolest friggin' guy in Metropolis?
uh huh.
Like, yeah, like wouldn't chicks be just coming at you constantly? And it's like
Hmm.
now we don't really see much of Jimmy's relationship with Superman in the movie, but like Jimmy ain't doing too bad with the ladies.
Right, but then at the
And
same time too, it's like we also see like the fact that he's still he's had kind of that Lois Lane training, because like it's all about the story, get the
yeah,
story, get the photos, get whatever, and so it's like he's trying to still get the story, but it's like he's a good guy. It's like I don't want to put this girl in danger, but at the same time, I kind of need her to do these things so I can get the story, get the
oh,
truth.
see, I kind of looked at it as like he was trying, like he didn't want to end up having to try and deal with her in a relationship capacity. He was
Well, that too.
ready, like yeah,
That too. But yeah, he's like, I don't want any harm to come to her. I need her for these things, but also at the same time, yeah, I don't want to necessarily be her boyfriend either because she's kind of stupid.
yeah,
She's hot, but she's kind of stupid. But
yeah.
maybe she isn't.
We do learn that Lex Luthor is very willing and capable of just cold-blooded murder.
Yes.
Unabashed cold-blooded murder in a very shocking scene.
Hmm. Yeah, that was
Oh,
actually
excuse me.
well done too. Yeah, so we get
Yeah,
yeah we get like a little bit of interaction of Superman with kind of like the normal folks on the street, whatever else. So apparently you get one scene where Superman's getting beat down again, and basically you got a street vendor, and Superman's basically got some food for him before. They're buddies, so you see him a couple of times, and basically Lex like just to basically get at Superman, shoots this guy in the face. So it's like
yeah,
it's like it's like wow, okay. And of course, this is all
excuse
the
me.
same time where we're introducing Metamorpho as
Yeah,
well. So, and the way Metamorpho was used, kind of like, okay, here's this other thing that Lex has got locked up, but there's a specific reason why.
yeah. That
Yeah.
was that was wild to me. That whole thing, and like I loved his arc, Metamorphose Rex, and
Hmm.
and I also I dug how that like you always have this idea in your head and how he's been portrayed in animation,
Yeah.
Metamorpho having a deep voice, right? Like
Yeah.
in this one, he kind of had like that Brock Lesnar voice, like he looked like a tougher guy, like he would have a deeper voice than what he does,
Yeah. He just like
but
he
it just
seems
sounds
very
like a
nice.
dude, like
Yeah.
yeah,
Just seems
like
very kind of nice and normal and like hey, what's up, guys? Yeah.
yeah, yeah, how's it going? Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I enjoyed Metamorpho. I was worried the amount of other superheroes in the movie was going to oversaturate the Superman portion, but I don't believe it did.
It was so well balanced. I mean, you like
Yeah,
it wasn't kind of like, oh, I wish I had more of this. This. Now, granted, of course, Mister Terrific, I think, stole the show, and so now you got all these people who weren't familiar with him before, kind of like, dude, I want a Mister Terrific show, So,
yeah,
but it was like Hawk Girl was well done, and of course, she's very much, she makes established that she ain't Superman. Guy Gardner was. I mean, okay, you were not 100% pleased with the tone of his hair color. You thought it could have gone a little more red, but otherwise, that was Guy.
Yeah, yeah, I can't argue with that. That was Guy. Yeah, Guy. He should have been more ginger.
Yeah, but
I
I
hated
just
that he
love.
wasn't.
I love his constructs though, like the oven mitts, where he's just basically making the hand just like bitch slapping tanks and
Yeah,
stuff
or
like that.
the middle fingers with the tanks,
Yep.
like just covered. Yeah, that was brilliant. And just like his smug, idiotic attitude
Hmm.
is great. Yeah, especially when he's talking to Lois about the hypno glasses thing,
Yeah.
and then, and then Lois is like, "Does he trust everybody?" And but yeah, it I liked Guy. I was, I didn't really, I honestly, I didn't think Nathan Fillion was going to do a bad job. I just hated the hair color. It should have been redder.
Yeah.
It's like, of course, I totally dug the bowl cut with it and everything.
Yeah.
The
The style was correct, but like, yeah, you're right. It could have been a little more red. Yeah.
Yeah. Now the hot girl thing leads me into my third nitpick though.
Okay.
But I will put an asterisk next to this one because it could be something that they address later at some point later in the future.
Okay.
And that is, so the movie goes out of its way to demonstrate that Superman is abhorred by the idea of killing or the idea of death, right?
Okay.
So, like, to the point where he intervenes in the war between the two fictional countries,
Yep.
that has nothing to do with any conflict going on currently and has no political statement. I just need to say that the movie finished shooting before any of this crap happened. So
Right.
no, James Gunn ain't making no statement about nothing,
Right.
and yeah, it's that I could go on a whole tirade about that. But no, so Superman is he, the he stops a war,
Right.
you know, stops a war. Then they release Luther's goons release the little cute thing that turns into the big kaiju, right?
Right.
Superman is trying to find some way to either contain it or ethically euthanize it, like he said, specifically said. And Mr. Terrific shows up and go for the eyes, and they blow its stomach up, and they
Yeah.
kill it, right? Like,
Right.
but during that scene, they have this montage of where Superman is now the Justice Gang, like Gar Gardner, Hawk Girl, and Mr. Terrific are just like beating the crap out of this thing, right? And they're like,
Uh-huh.
this monster guy is like swinging and doing all this stuff. Superman's flying all over the place, saving people. Like, it's like, he's like stopping things from crushing other, like, he's trying to protect people and trying to do things like to the point where he picks up a squirrel and moves it right
Yeah.
to this thing. And then you've got Lex Luthor, who you've seen Superman has witnessed him commit murder,
Hmm.
right? And then at the end of the movie, Superman does not retaliate against him, instead puts him into custody, right?
Yeah.
So that is the Superman that we're with.
Yeah.
His friend, however, Hawk Girl,
Hmm.
right? Hawk Girl makes it a point to demonstrate that she is not like Superman by murdering the president of whatever,
Barovia. Yeah.
Barovia,
Yeah.
the evil, corrupt president. I have
Yeah.
to say, he's a villain,
Yeah.
right? But that's the big whole deal. Like, he's like, oh, you won't kill me. It's like you're not like, or you're not, or you follow your code, or however he says it. I can't remember the thing. And she's like, but I'm
Right.
not,
Yeah. Yeah.
and drops him and lets him go.
Yeah.
So, like, the idea that I can't see the Superman that did not stop the cold-blooded murder, that did not like physically harm the cold-blooded murderer that he saw, and instead turned him into custody. I can't imagine he would be cool with one of his friends willingly killing another person in cold blood like that. And so it's
Good
like, if
point.
they address it in another movie, I'm cool with it. Otherwise, that's going to be kind of a to me on the one of the things that I dislike about that's going to bug me every time I watch the movie.
Okay. Okay.
But
That's fair
yeah.
enough. Yeah, and that's the thing. Is like there are so many other plot points they kind of left, going for basically the end of the movie. So there's a lot of things, threads we can follow. But before we get to that, I got to talk about Rachel Brosnan's performance as Lois. What did you think about it?
Oh, loved it.
Yeah,
Loved it. Best since Margot. Best since
and,
Margot.
and even the Margot Kidder, she still had to kind of depend on being saved by Superman. This is comic book Lois. Lois
Oh yeah,
don't need no man.
this is proactive as hell. Like, she's gonna go into the middle of some shit, Lois.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Yep.
this is ballsy as hell, Lois Lane. This is
Yep.
This is the Lois Lane that Clark Kent fell in love with. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is, I think, my with again with due respect to Margot, I think this is my favorite version of Lois, just because it's the most comic book accurate. Where it's like, yeah, she's the good writer and she's a firecracker kind of thing like that, but yeah, it's like she's not waiting for Superman to save her. Like she's going out in the field doing stuff, looking for the truth, looking for the story, or
Yeah.
getting whatever she can to get the story, even if she has to go into a alternate dimension with
Right.
some
Yeah.
dude with a T painted on his face. It's like, yeah, okay, let's go do this too.
The garage door gag was great though.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So at one point, Lois goes to the Justice Gang because that's who Mr. Terrific, Guy Gardner, and Hot Girl are, and they're funded by Maxwell Lord, but they're called unofficially the Justice Gang, as Guy Gardner keeps trying to
yeah.
name them as
They haven't come
leaders.
up with an official name yet, but Guy Gardner keeps with the Justice Gang. The media's kind of latched on to Justice Gang, but yeah, Mister Terrific hates the name.
Yeah. And so Lois goes to try and recruit them to help, and Guy Gardner won't do it because of his Green Lantern vows. And Hot Girl won't just because she's being stubborn or some shit.
Yeah,
So Mr. Terrific comes along, and they're getting they get into his T car or whatever it's called.
yeah.
I want to call it the what's the name of Night Owls thing from the
Oh,
Watchmen?
it was
Uh,
Artie was what he
Artie,
called it.
yeah. I
Yeah,
want
but
to
like the owl ship or something like that. But yeah,
yeah, because that's what kind of what it immediately made me think
yes,
of.
it totally looked like the owl ship. Yeah,
Yeah. But no, as they're waiting for it, the garage door is just going up excruciatingly slow.
yeah.
And then it's like we're all kind of waiting, and it's like the people I'm watching it with, like they're just kind of like, okay, like because they watch it for like an uncomfortably long period of time,
Yeah.
just long enough to make you think that it's like this is just bad editing. And Lois comes up with like, so you got you got a spaceship, but you couldn't get a faster garage door opener. Just tell like the humor like that I'm fine with. It's like that kind of stuff works because it was it wasn't sporadic through the thing. The movie shifted tone a lot in a
It
good
really
way.
did.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
It would
it
get
had
dark. It would
hard,
get
yeah,
yeah, very
it had
hard, dark parts, and then you get funny and lighthearted stuff again too.
yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
very good character pieces with it. Everybody got to really kind of demonstrate who their character was, I feel, with a very short amount of time.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, the trying to think of what else. Let's talk Supergirl real quick too.
Well, before we talk Supergirl, gotta give a little bit of mention to the mechanic because the mechanic is our very first ever Wildstorm character who has made it to film
Oh yeah, or
because she was originally in the Authority, uh,
yeah,
as part of that book, and then basically basically when DC purchased Wildstorm and Jim Lee became editor in chief, all the Wildstorm stuff that he created, including Wildcats, the Authority, a lot of other stuff,
right.
all became part of the DC world now. So basically, the mechanic is a DC character. And basically, that's very much. I mean, in the comics, she has much more of a metallic appearance, so she doesn't have as much of a human look to her. But whatever.
Yeah,
We
but no,
basically
I thought that she looked fantastic,
yes,
and
and well
yeah,
done. Where basically she's filled with nanites, and basically she can form shapes and do things and whatever else, but she's hardly human anymore. So,
yeah. She even
but yeah,
says at one point that she gave away so much of her humanity to
yeah,
stop Superman, and that's an underlying point of the movie too, is humanity.
yes,
And like Lex Luthor really doesn't have any and doesn't understand it.
yeah.
The mechanic gives hers up. Ultraman is should we talk about him real quick too before we talk about Superman?
Let's talk about Ultraman.
Yeah, so Ultraman, like George was saying at one point too, like the armor gets knocked off of him and he's looking like Doomsday, like
Hmm.
standing there, like very much invoking that vibe.
Yeah,
And then when you actually see it, no, it's like it's a clone of Kal-El, of Superman.
yep.
And
And it's we're not talking like a Bizarro sort of clone. It's basically like his hair is a little longer. He's a little more unkempt. But this is basically like Lex trying to clone Superman. So this kind of purports to Connor Kent, that version of Superboy, which basically is a clone of Lex and Superman. But then when basically Superman and Ultraman are fighting, and Ultraman gets tossed into the black hole, I'm like, Are we going to come back as Bizarro? Maybe.
See, that's what I'm wondering too. Yeah, are we going to come back as Bizarro? Are we going to come back as Doom? What are we going to come back as? Because
Yeah,
you know that he just ain't done.
yeah, yeah.
Like yeah,
We'll see him again someday.
yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, so stop beating around the bush. Let's talk Supergirl. Because, of course, we don't see her until like right at the end of the movie. She pops in for a brief scene, but makes a very bold statement of what kind of Supergirl we are dealing with here.
yes. She crashes into the Fortress of Solitude, drunk as a fucking skunk,
Yep,
and we got
100%.
Party Girl Supergirl, and
But
we find out that also Crypto is her dog.
yes, which is an interesting twist because Supergirl has a pet. It's a cat named Streaky. And Streaky is a cat that flies and whatever else. I can't
Yeah,
remember Streaky's origin, but yeah, like Supergirl's got a cat, Superman has a dog, but apparently Crypto belongs to Supergirl. And of course, with him being wily and unkempt, like okay, that makes sense that he's Supergirl's.
yeah,
Uh, but yeah, an interesting take. Because of course, we're going to see Supergirl next in the Supergirl World of Tomorrow film, or they may just call it Supergirl. I'm not sure, but
yeah.
it's going to be based a lot around the World of Tomorrow storyline, or Woman of Tomorrow, I should say. Um, but this Supergirl is basically like, yeah, she's the party girl. She spends her time partying around on other, planets and whatever else.
With the red sun, so that
Yeah,
she
with
can get drunk.
yes, because basically this is a Supergirl who is in mourning, who is broken, and who is looking for identity because her whole purpose was she was sent at the same time Kal-El was off of Krypton, but then if you know Supergirl's storyline, she gets stuck in a wormhole, and so the entire time that Clark Kent hits Earth, grows up, learns to be human, he was raised by a human family, she's in a spaceship stuck in time. When she finally gets out, she's basically a little older, but chronologically, though she is an age older than Clark, he's now grown up to like adult size, so she's still kind of the kid, and he's the
Yep.
grown up and now kind of playing the big brother to teach her how things go on Earth. But it's like she has no purpose, she has no home. What is she to do on this world? That basically, like her younger, her younger cousin is now the world's greatest popular superhero. What's she going to do?
Right.
So yeah, so very interesting, very hot take on Supergirl here.
And Lobo.
Yep, we're gonna see Lobo for the first time in cinema, and we got basically another DC alum who's going to be playing double duty because even though it's not 100% that Aquaman is gone or that he's never going to play him again, but Jason Momoa is coming back and he's going to be playing Lobo, which is the character he
Yeah.
should have played in the first place
He
as
was
opposed to Aquaman.
born to play Lobo. I mean,
Born.
he practically looks like him anyway. And I loved the teaser announcement bit that
Mm-hmm.
he did for it because it was like on his Instagram or whatever. And it was like, you just saw like, it was like a copy of the Supergirl script and it just said for Lobo's eyes only. And you see like his hand reach down and then Ace of Spades starts playing and
Yep.
him laughing as he picks the script up and takes a drag off the cigar. It was cool as hell. And it was just like, oh, damn, this is awesome.
Yeah, and
The main man.
if you're not familiar with Lobo, of course, he originally was created in the Omega Men series. When he premiered, his look was very different than when he was known as the 90s, when they kind of brought him back and brought him to the Lobo that we know very well today. Imagine basically Deadpool and Wolverine in one character. Because he's the surly, rough, cigar smoking, drinking, I'm the best there is at what I do sort of guy. He's an intergalactic bounty hunter. He's got a healing factor, so he's almost impossible to kill. But then also, he makes wisecracks. He makes pop culture references. He doesn't do like the fourth wall breaking stuff that Deadpool does, but he's a lot more well aware of other stuff that's
He
going on.
does actually.
Well, not as
The
much as
Lobo
Deadpool.
convention special. Don't
Yeah, well,
forget
yeah.
that
Well,
when
okay,
he
yeah,
lost
that.
his issue of Superman 75 and he
Well,
had to go and get another copy of it.
but normally that's not his shtick, though. But yeah, but like
Right.
yeah,
Yeah,
they,
no,
they
you're right.
do they do some meta stuff. Yeah, they certainly have before. Yes, but yeah. But yeah, normally, but yeah, he is just basically the surly, wisecracking, and he's very much an anti-hero because he pops up sometimes, and depending on the job, he's there to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and he's all out of bubblegum,
Yeah.
or if he can be talked into it, he's there to help. But sometimes he may have to talk him into it.
Yeah. And see, I loved Lobo because back in the day, my first exposure to him was really from the mid '90s stuff, like the convention special and like
Mm-hmm.
Lobo's Back's Back,
Oh yeah,
and which were like these really bizarre Simon Bisley painted miniseries where Lobo was just doing all kinds of crazy crap, and then it was the Legion series,
yep,
right? That was hella good because he actually teamed up with Legion 97
yep.
and yeah, one of like Brainiac's Five's future incarnations or whatever when he's a good guy. But yeah, that whole thing was really good because it was like space cops, but like Lobo was like the Ice-T Law and Order character.
Right,
You
yeah.
know, yeah, it was pretty rad.
Yeah.
But
Bradley saying he loves Lobo. Yes, I know
yeah,
you do, sir. But literally, the first time he pops in the shop, he's looking for some Simon Bisley stuff. There's like, yeah,
oh
that's my
yeah,
guy. Bradley, you guys want to know something kind of messed up about Bizarro from Superman, the animated series? When Lex made the clone that would become Bizarro, he has grown with the suit on, meaning the cape is essentially a giant flap of skin that grows.
ew,
He's
oh
he's kind of right though.
yeah,
They don't really
oh
talk about
that's
that,
terrifying to think about. Yeah,
he's 100% about that
oh
one.
man,
Oh yeah, basically he says likes in the Lobo convention special. He just hawks on some guy's rare comic, and then the dude dies
yes,
from a heart attack.
yes. That's right. I forgot about that. It's been probably decades since I read that, but I read my copy to tatters.
Oh
And I
yeah,
was so happy when I got the Lobo convention special.
I
And
know.
then there was the Lobo Bloodlines annual that started
Mhm.
that whole cross. I have a weird soft spot for that dumbass crossover. But
Well, I do too because it introduced Tommy Monaghan, the Hitman. So, and
yeah.
Hitman has still always been one of my favorite DC series of all time. So
Yeah,
yeah, I mean,
Hitman was about the only character that survived out of the originals, wasn't it?
yes,
Yeah.
yep,
Yeah, if you're unfamiliar with the concept, every annual that year, like because every comic that they had always had an annual issue that was like double size, 64
yeah,
pages, the whole special deal. They ran this thing called Bloodlines, where it was like these aliens were making it closer to Earth as the issues progressed, and
hmm
eventually they made it to Earth. But like in each issue, a new superhero would have to deal with them. So like in the very first one, it was Lobo and the Legion and ends up making like they make like they do this thing where they alien the back of your neck and like
yeah,
suck out your whatever, but in some people it activates your metahuman gene, so it makes up whole new superheroes. So the whole idea was that it was going to make like this whole new line of superheroes that DC could use and like all kinds of stuff. And the
yeah,
only one that ever made it out of like 32 annuals was Tommy Monahan, Hitman, made by Garth Ennis.
yep,
And
and John,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah, the
yeah.
only one there. Yeah, and that is the Demon annual, by the way, of
Oh
Bloodline.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, the Demon Annual. I forgot about that.
Yeah, because you had oh god, I can't remember who it was that was on the Demon. Alan Grant. Alan Grant had the Demon run for a while in the '90s, and
Yes.
then he transitioned off of it, and then Garth Ennis and John McCrae took over the rest of the run until it ended. And then when the Demon it ended, the Demon run ended words. Then Demon basically went over to Hitman.
Okay. Okay, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, Etrigan basically. So you got all these like various Hitman, weird ass superheroes, and a demon.
That's kind of why I love Etrigan anyway, because he can just kind of show up and work in just about any situation.
You really
Why
can.
not?
And a couple of random Hitmen on the side, especially the Section 8 characters. Yep. Yeah, those are the weird superheroes. Basically, the Section 8 was a group of superheroes that basically, if these were the Timu superheroes, that maybe you can get like, uh,
They're the action force compared to the GI Joes when you go to Walmart and
oh well, no, Action Force. That was the British GI Joe. No, these.
or no what were the generic GI Joes
Oh,
that
I know
Walmart
what you're talking
made?
about.
Yeah,
But yeah, the Walmart generic GI Joes. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That's definitely what. Yeah, Section 8 is, but yeah,
Yeah.
they're slightly unstable, mentally ill. Some of them even homeless.
Oh,
Yeah,
geez.
so yeah, but yeah. Oh God, Hitman was just wonderfully insane and crazy. But yeah, so
Yeah, it had it gave one character who should be a swearing mofo the best excuse to not swear in a comic book code, because it was still a code book, wasn't it?
yep,
They didn't, yeah, so they couldn't use hard swears, but one character doesn't swear because he promised his mother that
yeah,
he wouldn't,
he
and
would.
so that's why he doesn't use curse words.
Oh yeah, look up Hitman. It's such a weird,
Yeah,
wacky
it's
nerd.
wonderful, and especially too, like, given Garth Ennis does not like, he's notoriously does not like superheroes,
Yeah.
right? And but he's got a weird respect for Superman
Yes.
because yeah, and you know what? Screw it. Let's get political for a second with the whole idea of the immigrant Superman.
Let's
You
yeah.
know,
Let's yeah.
yeah. So James Gunn like was been catching a lot of crap because he said that like Superman's basically an immigrant story, and it is. You know,
Yeah.
Superman. Yeah, he comes from another world. Actually, he's a refugee technically. You know, he can't go back
Technically,
to
yeah.
his homeland. Yeah, but
Yeah, see, yeah, see, not to interrupt you, but yeah, Kevin brings up here. So why is Superman now super woke man? And then, see, this is what we're going to talk about here.
yeah, this is what we're gonna talk. Yeah, because it. Yeah, the whole idea of this whole like Superman being woke thing pisses me off. Like, one tirade at a time. Anyway, sorry. Where was I on the original? We were talking about the shit.
Basically, that's an immigrant story. Yeah,
Yeah, the immigrant story. Yeah, so which Superman is an immigrant, and it's the idea of someone coming to America and making the best life that they can with what they're given, and
hmm
being kind to people, living the embodiment of the American dream, showing kindness to other people, and trying to do what is best on a day to day basis. Superman pretty much even says as much, in the at the end of it, when he's
yeah,
trying to explain that to Luthor that he's just as human as anyone else, because Luthor tries to make Superman out to be a them,
yeah,
as an us versus them thing. You always want to try and make if you can make out somebody an outsider, you
yeah.
can villainize them. You can demonize them very, very easily. And
hmm
it's a very much an immigrant story in that way. Yeah, that is what Lex Luthor is trying to do. In the context of the current political climate, it has nothing to do with anything that the movie was saying, because the movie was already finished with primary photography before any of this crap happened.
Right.
So if you think that this is some hidden commentary on some whatever thing or has some leftist agenda bullshit, fuck off, you're wrong. I mean,
Exactly.
just plain and simple. That's not what it is. It's like James Gunn has like said as much, that the movie, like, the two countries don't exist. Their DC Comics is notorious for using like horrible to pronounce fictional Middle Eastern countries.
Right.
Like, Corto Maltese was in Suicide Squad, right? It's
hmm
like that place don't exist either. And
Right.
and that is like a stand-in for what, Nicaragua, I think, or
Something like that. Yeah. Just
one of those countries.
Any kind of South American countries that
Yeah, well, one of those South American countries like that. But no, it's and the idea that it keeps coming back to the idea, like, okay, it irks me when people call stuff woke or whatever, because it's like, do you know the definition, the origin of the word woke?
I
Right,
do
like,
not know.
yeah, okay. So technically in the 40s, it derived from something that came out in the 40s in the Africa with the famines in Ethiopia and Nigeria and all that, right? Like the peasant uprisings over there, like wake up Africa, wake up Nigeria. That was a rally cry, right, in the African American community with the famine
Okay.
stuff. So then in the 60s, it gets reappropriated for civil rights, like wake up. Like it's a rally cry for African Americans to stay diligent, to protect each other, and to watch out for injustices that are being done to everyone else. The civil rights movement. So now the term woke is being turned around and co-opted as a slur, as something that you don't want,
Right.
as that you're trying to make it out as to be something negative. And what you're technically doing by saying that is you're enabling racist language, and denying black culture just outright. Like,
Yeah.
it's a horribly racist dog whistle
Yes.
when,
Absolutely.
to call something woke or be anti woke, or that's what you're saying with the term. And I'm not saying that, Kevin, that's what you were saying when you were
No,
asking.
no,
I'm
no,
not.
no. But
Yeah,
yeah,
no, no, yeah,
but
but yeah.
Kevin's kind of basically kind of addressing like what a lot of the misconceptions, the criticism, whatever else, basically, we hear this a lot, like, oh, well, such and such is woke now. Well, this is like, okay, Superman was again created by two Jewish immigrants as basically a fantasy of like, hey, we've been having our ass kicked in this World War thing by this Hitler asshole guy. Why don't we create something that can kick his ass right back?
Yeah. Well, there's
Superman.
also too like what Superman smashes the Klan.
Yeah.
You know what Superman wasn't woke in the 50s when he was going after the Klan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like that whole like the 16-part radio program. I don't know if it was the fifth or was it the 40s and the 50s. Was
40s
that?
and 50s. Yeah, 40s, 50s.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a 16-part radio program where Superman like and it went into gory detail about like the hidden stuff that the Klan like the stuff that the Klan was like subverting into their messaging and like it
Yeah.
outed them with their secret handshakes and symbology that they used and like totally decimated Klan membership. So
Mm-hmm.
Superman really did smash the Klan.
Yeah.
You know, the whole thing was there was a reporter who went and got all this information out, and that's how they presented it was in the Superman radio show. It was friggin' brilliant.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, it's like Superman has always been about that. And there was a great comic book series a couple of years ago. Superman smashes the Klan too.
Yeah. It was.
Yeah, yeah.
And of course, I've heard people say, "Oh, well, X-Men is woke now." Like, X-Men was literally created as an allegory for the civil rights movement of the 1960s.
It's
It's like
you
it's like anybody who's basically for the most part, anybody who uses the word woke on a whether it's a derogatory basis or whatever else, it's like, okay, instantly that's a red flag. It's like, okay, you're probably an idiot. Because it's just it's stupid
it's
terminology. It's
at
almost like
best
it's the repression of information.
yeah. Yeah. I think at best it's a way to say that you don't like something
Yeah,
without explaining why you don't like it.
yeah,
And it's like if you don't like it for whatever reason, that's your personal opinion. You know, it's like whatever. Like I can think your opinion is horrible. I can think it's wonderful. You know, it's like my opinion about your opinion doesn't matter. Like just realize. Like my whole thing is realize what you're saying when you're saying it.
yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
yeah. And in regards to like when you have people like Ben Shapiro saying that this Superman movie is not political, like when you have like people on the conservative side watching this movie and going, yeah, this movie, there's no, then
Yeah,
that kind of tells you something.
yeah.
You know,
It's
that it's like the people that are really trying to push this whole idea that it's like some kind of leftist propaganda is that they really need to reevaluate how they view things.
yeah. I mean, they're reading things into certain other aspects of media that just aren't there.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, it's like not everything is out to kill you. Not everything is out to convert you into something you don't want to be. It's just this paranoia that media, whether it's conservative, whether it's liberal media, whatever else, just the paranoia that is being expressed and to whatever their constituents happen to be, where it's like, yeah, you're like sitting there like, oh, everything's out there to attack me.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, no, chill
Right.
out, get over it. This is reality, and reality is, yeah, okay, maybe the world's maybe not like a nice place 100% of the time, but it's not also, we're not living in the fourth world here. We're not gonna, a volcano's not gonna erupt
Yeah.
suddenly and kill everybody.
We ain't
So,
living in the fourth world. And what's so wrong with to quote Elvis, going back to the theme of the episode, Superman being punk rock, being nice to people. I'm going to quote a little Elvis Costello. What's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? You know, like, yeah.
yep. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, and Diamond Dave is in the house here. Yes, sir. To answer your question, this is 100% a UHF shirt here.
Yes.
Yeah, because see, there's Goonie, the Kung Fu guys, and then there's Al right there with the Rambo gear.
Rambo Al, yeah.
So supplies. Yeah, and Dave's right. Jimmy has a bigger harem than Clark does. Yeah, we're worried about Superman's harem. It's Jimmy Olsen's harem we should be worried about here.
Did you see what he had Tess in his phone as?
No, I didn't notice that.
Mutant toes. Yeah, and so it's like I'm like, oh man, leave it to Jimmy Olsen to be superficial as hell,
dude.
I think that
he's Eddie Murphy's character from Boomerang. Because he was like always obsessed with superficial stuff and the hot girl, and he'd check her toes and like, oh, her toes are nasty. And then he gets to Robin Givens' character, her toes are nice. He's like, yay, but she's a terrible person. It's sort of, it's just like you're Eddie Murphy in Boomerang. It's like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I love too that we got like, of course, you can't do a Daily Planet without having, Perry White, Jimmy Olsen, Lois Lane. But I love also that we got to see Cat Grant. We got to see Steve. I can't remember his last name.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Steve. It's not Trevor. But yeah, Steve Bannon.
Yes,
No.
Bannon. Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
I love that basically, like, he's like the big, the sports jock or whatever else, but also he's a big pussy too.
Yeah. Why don't I have a seat?
Yeah.
I do love that actually the Daily Planet crew had it.
Lombard. Thank you, Miracon man.
Steve Lombard. Yes, thank you. Yeah. Oh crap! I think Steve Bannon's somebody else. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Steve. Oh no, Steve Bannon's. We're thinking Race Bannon from Johnny Quest.
Oh yeah. But no, I like that the Planet crew had something to do in this movie. Like they had a purpose, and like it wasn't just Superman saving the day. Like the Planet crew had they had to get it out about Lex starting the war and like his whole plot and to take him down with the journalism.
Yeah.
And Superman had to handle the immediate threat.
Yeah, he had to handle the rough. Yeah, they had to handle the rough stuff, and they were doing the story. Like let's say, like the whole time, like Jimmy's just writing the story, and then like Perry's fact checking it, and whatever else. Like and they're on the jet, doing the thing. Like okay, let's go. But
and that's the other thing too that I like about the world that they've built, because they're watching all of this crap happen.
Yeah,
and of course Superman's been active for 3 years, right? So it's like we know that they've seen stuff, right?
Yeah,
and so it's like at this point, like whatever's going on is just rote. Because it is now to the point where Superman can take time off, right? Like we saw in that one scene where he just goes back to his apartment to just chill and talk to Lois. And there's the dimensional thing outside that's like over Metropolis that the Justice Gang are taken care of in the distance.
Yeah, everybody else is fighting. I love that. Yeah,
and then Lois is like, "You got to go help him," and he's like, "No, they got it. Like it's whatever." Like
But that makes sense though. Mayor Conman also brings up a good point. What did we think of the JSA mural in the Hall of Justice?
I'm gonna be totally honest. I missed that. I did not.
Yeah. So basically within, because the Hall of Justice, actually that building exists. I think it's in Cincinnati or Cleveland or one of the two. It's in Ohio. It's like an old train station or something like that. But yeah, that's been used as the Hall of Justice for a couple, basically the CW stuff, and then basically, of course, now on the James Gunn thing. But yeah, when they're in the inside, having the whole discussion and everything like that, there's a mural that basically goes all around the wall. You can see it kind of wraps around. You only see a portion of it, but the one portion you see, there is definitely the JSA is on that mural.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like just kind of like, it's kind of like an action scene almost.
Yeah.
Instead of being like just like a lineup. But yeah, there's like I said, again, we see the building blocks of the DC world here, because here's the superheroes from the 1940s. Sort of thing like that. So like,
I'm gonna have to pay attention to that, because I'm thinking about going to see this again tomorrow. Actually,
nice.
Like it's like I do want to catch this again, because I really did enjoy this movie.
Yeah, but yeah, so definitely when they get inside the Hall of Justice, pay attention to the walls there. Yeah, Mircon Man is correct. Yeah, there's a real people have done some screen grabs and kind of zoomed in on it, so you can see a little bit better. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot of the classic members of the JSA, are in that mural. So. One thing, of course, I want to talk about. Get to the end of the movie. Of course, we get Lex in we get Lex in handcuffs. He's being hauled away, but where are they hauling him away to? Bel Rev.
Bel Rev, yes, the prison of DCU,
where Amanda Waller runs Task Force X. And we already know Amanda Waller exists in this world because she's part of Peacemaker, and we've seen her in Suicide Squad. So yeah, you're sending the world's greatest criminal genius into the world's greatest see you next Tuesday's arms. I am not okay with this.
I'm just kind of curious because it's like I love the idea of Amanda Waller having so much power in this world, and it's just like you don't expect a woman like that to have like just be like basically like one of the most powerful people on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and yeah, just from what she can do, who she knows,
And
like
say, no powers. She's
no,
100%
yeah,
normal
totally
human.
human. Yeah,
Totally human.
totally human. Just balls of steel,
Yeah,
balls of adamantium, balls
and,
of kryptonite. Yeah.
and a complete hard on against superheroes.
Oh
Unless they
yeah.
are under her employ, then she likes them a little bit. But
Yeah.
she still, I mean, it's like, oh, yeah, a
Amanda
Waller.
Waller has never done anything for anyone else's self-interest besides or anyone else's interest besides herself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. If she's done anything that seems beneficial, it's always because it's going to eventually benefit her too, or give her a
Yeah.
promotion, or whatever else. Yeah, it's just one
But
of the worst bad guys, worst slash best bad guys in the DC universe.
oh yeah.
Amanda Waller, love to hate her. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, and of course, with Alfred Woodward playing her, she just perfect casting.
Yes. Oh god,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, just can't wait to see more of Waller and what she's gonna do. That she's got Luther in her jail.
Yes.
It's because like she don't like Superman either, and he don't like. Oh,
I'm just yeah, it's
we're
like
in
I'm just
trouble. Mm,
I'm just excited to see like this new like how they're gonna just twist up old concepts in the DCU, like yeah. And
yeah. And it's kind of timely too because the second volume of Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong is out, and it's literally a sequel to the original. And in the original, Lex creates a Mecha Godzilla to fight Godzilla and stuff like that, and he
yeah.
basically kind of like wrecks a whole bunch of shit when he does it, and so that's why Lex is in jail. But then he's basically in Bel Rev and Amanda Waller immediately makes him a member of Task Force X. So it's like, oh! So it's like, yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I got a feeling we're gonna see something along those lines here. So, oh, and Mircon says he also saw Amethyst of Gemworld in the mural. Interesting.
Oh.
Well, I mean, yeah, Amethyst kind of is one of those like supernatural, fantastical characters that she's basically older than she actually is and lives in a
Yeah.
fantasy world. So, okay,
That would solve the Wonder Woman problem too.
yeah,
Yeah.
it would, yeah. Yeah, if they don't want to
Yeah.
make Wonder Woman that old, then yeah, they have Amethyst be. Oh, or maybe Amethyst is going to be make her an Amazonian.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that.
Oh, yeah. Good call, Mircon. Good call, man. Yeah, it's like I said, but you're right. There's just so many little things, little threads they can pull if they want to make new stories and do whatever else. But again, like
Yep.
this world that James has given us or given us access to is already very alive, very built, and moving along. And we're just basically we're recording this for the first time. But
Right. Yeah.
yeah,
And we
yeah,
can revisit the start in like TV shows or whatever. It's like I like the idea that we're coming into an established universe and we're starting to get stories that are not just origin stories.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know this. Amethyst is going to be involved in the Starfire animated series.
Oh.
So there we go. And of course, if you guys aren't aware of this, in this new James Gunn universe, even if there's an animated series, we can have those characters translate into real world, like we saw Frank Grillo show up as Rick Flag Sr., even though his hair was not gray. It was
Yeah.
dark. It was dark, and apparently he addressed that too. He's like, "Yeah, they're going to talk about that." So apparently, I don't know. So maybe
Huh.
maybe the Superman may take place before the Creature Commando series, and
Or he found Just for Men.
or he found Just for Men. Yes. But yeah, again, I love the interconnectivity, and so yeah, we can basically see different characters who played an animated version of themselves show up in the real
Yeah.
world, or in the case of say like an Alan Tudyk who did the voice for GI Robot, well, he's going to be doing a voice in the real world thing too, or
Right.
or even like David what's his nuts that played Frankenstein. He could show up just basically all painted up in Frankenstein gear and shit like that.
Well,
So
maybe he'll do a better performance if he's actually acting it, because as a voice
let's
actor,
hope
he's
so.
god awful.
Yeah, he was definitely my least favorite. Like I love Frankenstein, but yeah, his performance was my least favorite part of Creature
Yeah.
Commandos. 100% on that one.
Yeah.
GI Robot stole the show, and Frankenstein drug it right back down.
Right. Exactly.
Oh well, unless you've got any other points, I think we pretty much addressed everything we can on this thing.
Yeah, I'm actually ready to call it a night, brother. I got puppies that need to go out, and
Yep.
yeah, I'm getting hungry too. So.
I feel you. Yeah. So, well, like I said, I think we've picked this thing thoroughly apart. But again, to recap, we both enjoyed it. You had some things, some nitpicks in there. I had some very minor nitpicks, but for the most part, though, very impressed. All the Warner Brothers executives are breathing a sigh of relief that this movie is making the money and everybody
They
likes
still
it.
have jobs. Yeah.
Yeah, they still have jobs. Warner Brothers is still a thing. It's not going to get bought out by a Saudi American or Saudi company or whatever whatever the case may be. Yeah. So yes, everything's kosher for the time being in DC world and in Warner Brothers world. So and I love the message that basically it's punk rock to be nice. It's part of the resistance to be a good person. Like,
yeah, I dig it. I dig it. I like it. It's a very Superman message.
Well, it's I mean, in '78, the tagline was "You will believe a man can fly." In 2025, you will believe a man can be nice.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Well, folks, as I said at the top of the show, we will not be on next week because basically I'm taking my nephew out and the Mrs. Fanatic, and we're going to go see Fantastic Four and have a good time hanging out with my beloved nephew and all that good stuff. But we'll be back the week after that. We'll find out what topic we're going to be talking about as well. Maybe you got something for us, or maybe we'll dip into some effed up history, or whatever.
Yeah, I'll come on. I'll have a good effed up history when we come back. Yeah,
I like it.
I'll have some time to prep for that. Yeah.
Oh, hang on. Mircon Man says, weird question. That's not a weird question. What hours is clobbering open on Friday? Checked wrong Google. It seemed closed when you showed up this morning. We are open from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Fridays. Yep. So yeah, I don't know what they said on Google, but yeah, we're open. We're open 11 a.m. So yeah, and
11
then
to 7.
That's right. And then Mondays we're closed, and Sundays are early day. We're only open till 3. But yeah, 11 to 7 Tuesday through Saturday, and then till 3 on Sundays. So yeah, well, hope you can come out, man. Be good to see you. But, see, Google said 9:30. I wonder if that's I wonder if Tommy put that in for delivery purposes. But yeah, no, we're 9:30. No, it's not your bad whatsoever. No, I got a feeling our owner put a weird thing on there. Yeah. Business hours are 11 to 7, not 9:30. No one's in the shop at 9:30 in the morning.
Do not come at 9:30.
Well, somebody might be in the shop at 9:30 in the morning. It's just not going to be me. So.
No, there you go. Yeah.
It's the ghost of clobbering. Anyway, all right, we're gonna get out of here. Seth's got some puppies to take outside because they gotta go tinkle and get some food and all that good jazz. So you all have yourselves a wonderful week. Thank you all very much for tuning in, and for everybody who chimed in as well. You guys are awesome. Oh, you and Sammy were okay. You guys were at the okay. You guys were at the Vibe. Yeah, I got you. Yeah. Good night to you. Good to see you, brother. Excuse me. Yeah, so choking my own saliva here. All right. Anywho, good God.
Oh, excuse me.
You all have yourselves a wonderful weekend, and we will see you next time on the Fanatic Forum, TTFN. And don't forget, share with your friends, share with your family, share with people you don't even like, or strangers on the street, just nonetheless.
Smash that like and subscribe button.
That's right. Anywho, we're going to leave you guys with a word from our friends, Comic Books for Kids. You all have a good one. We'll see you next time. TTFN.
My name is Mark Weiss, and I am the founder and president of an organization called Comic Books for Kids. 6 years ago this month, we embarked on a journey of passion and heart. Our goal was to make a difference for children in hospitals and cancer centers. Little could we have ever imagined the response we have now. Starting with just hopes and dreams, we had no money for our mission. We had no product to give to the hospitals, and we had only called a couple hospitals and asked them, if we were to provide you with comic books, would you be interested? And they said yes. So we embarked on a 1-year journey to make a difference for these kids. We realized that even though we can't take away the reason these children are in hospitals, we can perhaps, while they are there, let them fly like a superhero, be princes and princesses, and embark on a mystical and magical journey to take them away from where they are in that hospital bed. Today, and thanks to your support, we are thrilled to say that we are now the largest charity in the U.S., supporting well over 200 hospitals in all 50 states for not only comic books, but for other pop culture items like Funko Pops, action figures, coloring books, Spanish bilingual items, backpacks, and more. When we received materials that were inappropriate for the young ones, we started a sister charity called Comic Book for Troops, and overnight, we became the largest charity in the U.S. for these same items to all branches of the military. We want to thank our friends for providing us their support and for allowing us the means to make so many happy with their gracious give to us.